All right, last minute decision here for a Zwift race. I'm trying to do the final preparation for Toad, you guys. Tour of America's Dairyland. And not a great warm-up, be honest with you. And typical Zwift fashion, we have a hard start here. People attacking. Anytime you see these orange numbers on the right, people are going hard. So what are we doing here? This is about an hour-long Zwift race. About 42 kilometers, I think. And this course, the Coast Crusher, not a whole lot of climbing. So the perfect race for me would be like medium amount of climbing. I'm not strong enough to follow the best climbers. I'm not strong enough to outsprint the strongest sprinters. So generally, the races that I win are too hard for the pure sprinters, but a little bit too easy for the pure climbers, so they can't get rid of me. And those are the races where I can find success. This race, as you can see, we have this lead in, and already tough start for me. I did not get a great warm-up. I always forget that Zwift races, like always, just no matter what, have hard starts. But this has this little downhill roll-in, which I thought would be a good opportunity to kind of settle in and kind of finish my warm-up on this downhill section here we can see in blue until we actually start the course proper, which has almost no climbing, like little rollers here and there. But let's fast forward a little bit, see how it shakes out. Oh, and we're going to pause here for a second. Something funny happened. I'm doing 450 watts because it occurred to me that, like, when we're going over this dirt road, first of all, I think it changes the mechanics. Somebody help me understand. Does it slow you down and, like, affect the drafting? Because it always seems harder, even when we're going down a hill on these dirt roads. But I couldn't really modulate my effort. See, the key to Zwift success is you try to modulate your effort so that you're not rolling off the front unintentionally. And just like in real life, you're trying to maximize the amount of time that you're spending in the draft, saving energy, being sheltered from the wind. And I got it wrong right here, but I think a lot of it had to do with the dust that was kicked up from this dirt road. Kind of an interesting thing. But anyway, let's fast forward a little bit more. All right, I'm going to be honest with you guys. It was pretty chill for the first 20 kilometers of this race. Other than the hard start, pretty chill. 269 watt average you can see in the upper left. But now we're hitting a roller, which it's not a lot. This is like a 1 minute climb or something like that. But everyone's just going to go crazy using their power-ups. I'm hanging on to this drafting power-up, the truck. It enhances the drafting that you get in a group, so it's best saved for when you're going fast behind riders. Now, this is looking pretty dangerous. Now, we're doing a lot of power. We have another roller coming up. I'm always looking ahead when I have these power-ups in the map. It's kind of hard to see on this course because these features are so small. These little rollers are so small, they barely even show up on the map. But that's one good way to try to maximize the benefit of your power-up is look ahead and obviously understand what the power-up is actually doing. So really hard effort here, and we're staying on the gas going into the downhill. I'm in the draft. I think this is a really good time to pop the power-up. If I remember correctly, this is when I'm going to use it. Yeah, there we go. Drafting boost, rather. There are some dropped riders behind. This field has now been split in two. I'm in the winning side of this group. It looks like about the top 12, and I wanted to recover as best as I possibly could by the time we hit this second roller. Again, these are like so small, but these are the only real features on this course. And when there's a split, I feel like people are extra motivated to ride hard, and that's exactly what's happening here. We're not doing anything crazy, but this is over threshold, 450 watts. Well, 500 watts now is well above threshold for me. So if we can continue this trend, now the drafting boost is gone, by the way, which is fine because we're still on this roller, only 1 or 2%, but the speeds come down quite a bit. If we can continue on the gas here and really force the speed up high, we can drop those riders who you can see in the map on the upper right are starting to struggle, and we're starting to see those orange numbers as well. And this actually ended up being a really consequential selection in the race. We went from 49 riders, you can see in the right side there, and this is now a selection of 12. All right, so after the turnaround, things continued to get spicy on these rollers. We've already been racing for 40 minutes. Maybe people are starting to feel a little bit fatigued. And the folks who aren't interested in a field sprint are going to start going as hard as they can on these little rollers. Like this one right here. We already completed one much shorter one you can see in the bottom right there. Big, tall, red and orange blocks means a lot of power. And now we're obviously going over this other one. group of 3 possibly off the front. I'm playing a little game of chicken here. I'm hoping somebody else can close that gap, especially as we come over the top of this climb. The faster you're going, the better the draft. If this climb continued going, I just would have closed the gap myself because, look, if it's steep, if it's long climb, drafting doesn't mean a whole lot. It's all just about watts per kilogram, though your weight as a fraction, your power as a fraction of your weight. But when you're going downhill, the drafting is so consequential. You'll save like 50% of your power when you're going 60 kilometers an hour. So I was pleasantly surprised to see that somebody else closed it down. You don't always get lucky, though. And now we have a couple more rollers. Again, I'm looking in the upper right, but we also have this this gantry that we're about to go under, this semicircle, this green semicircle, which is going to give us a power-up. Now, again, when I'm getting these power-ups, I'm thinking ahead what the course looks like, and I'm also thinking about the finish. So depending on what I get, I'm going to react accordingly. And now, okay, so this is a pretty good one for the hills. This is a lightweight boost. So it decreases my weight, which increases my watts per kilogram, which means I climb faster. This would be a good opportunity to use if I wanted to attack, for example, or if I'm struggling on one of these climbs, you pop it, and I'm using it now. And why am I using it now? Not because I was struggling, but it's because I'm looking ahead in that mini-map in the upper right, the profile, and I'm going, there's really no other areas where there's climbing, so I may as well use it on kind of this last significant roller on the course. And I find myself kind of rolling pace off the front, and I just kind of stand up, and I just kind of go for it, because why not? I mean, we just went through a series of climbs. Last time we did this, it forced a selection. We went from 49 to 12. And yeah, I like myself a field sprint, but it's always easier to sprint from a smaller, reduced group. So if I can just kind of force the issue here, I have 1 or 2 seconds. It looks like Ericsson is doing 10 watts per kilogram to chase me back. Now, if he can join me and we can rotate turns, maybe it can just be a two-up breakaway. I like my chances with one other person a lot more than 12 other people or 11 other people. But I'm also looking, and I'm seeing that people are chasing quite hard in the group behind. They were up at 6 watts per kilogram. Now they're closer to 5. Well, now 6.5. So it kind of all just comes back together. I gave it a shot. I didn't overcommit, but time to sit back, catch my breath, and start thinking about the finish of this race. And so what ends up happening is it sets up this counterattack by Ericsson, who's up there doing 10 watts per kilogram, which is pretty much full sprint power. I mean, that's clearly unsustainable and inefficient, so I'm not too worried about him. And, oh, now he's coasting at 0.8 watts per kilogram. So I'm not taking that seriously, but there is a gap that is forming, and another rider is jumping across. So now this does look a little bit threatening with multiple riders, and I do have to commit some energy to get across, or hope that others commit some energy to get across. And again, I'm playing that game of chicken. It's such a funny thing in Zwift. And this is true in real life, too. Like, people do this. This is a thing that people do, like, no you, and then all of a sudden, this is how breakaways can happen. Sometimes, like accidentally. It's just because people are all looking at each other. Oh, now this other rider's doing 12 watts per kilogram, W Chen, to get across. So, yeah, it's very unfortunate, especially coming down this hill, that I'm having to commit this energy, but I sort of have to do something about it because I haven't been racing 45 minutes now just to lose over some silly game of chicken. So yeah, I'm gonna commit this energy. Oh, and it's funny if you look at me in the camera, I get low. Like I'm not thinking about it in my garage, but it's just muscle memory. I've been racing outside for so long that I just get into an aero position in my garage when I want to go faster. Obviously, that doesn't benefit me in any way in Zwift, but it's just been beat into my head for so many years. So anyway, we're all chilling now, but the problem is Ericsson is still up there. Remember him, the guy who was doing 10 watts per kilogram and then 0 watts per kilogram? He's still up the road, and now we're all looking, and we're playing that game of chicken. We're all looking at each other like nobody wants to chase, and now he's doing 9.8 watts per kilogram, 10 watts per kilogram again. Whoa, wait a second. He's holding. So he's sprinting. Does he think the finish is like right here? Yeah, okay. He's like full sprinting right now. I mean, that's like, what is that? That's like 700 or 800 watts for me. He's still up there for like 20 seconds. I mean, I'm sort of chasing here. I'm not going easy, but okay. Well, now he's doing 0. Okay, something's fishy. Like something's going on with Ericsson. You don't just do 20 seconds at like 8 or 9 watts per kilogram and then go back down to 0. That's super weird. And now he's at 6 again. Now he's at 9 again. Okay, I'm calling BS on this effort. Sorry, Ericsson, but I'm done chasing. I'm going to fall back. I don't think that's a real effort. That's just not how people ride. And so now Ericsson is 21 seconds up the road, just like a couple kilometers later, still doing 9.4 watts per kilogram, 11 watts per kilogram. Huh? Excuse me? Guys, is this a new bot behavior or something? Is this the new meta? Is this the new weight doping? Let me know in the comments if you guys have seen this. This is new to me. But anyway, we're not worried about him anymore. At least I'm not. He's got 24 seconds. We have 7 kilometers left. I'm going to sit back and think about the field sprint. But wait a second. There is no rest for me. People are not happy coming to the line in a group of 10 who don't have a sprint. And so there's going to be some attacks. And this is not at all surprising. We have a guy attacking off the front using an arrow power-up, which is like the quickest and easiest way to get a gap. And that's exactly what he's done. So now there's this response. And I want other people to chase. Obviously, I'm going to sit back. But I also don't want this rider off the front because I want everything together for the final 200 meters. And I'm going to stand up here. And I'm going to put in an effort to follow these riders and to see, oh, this guy's chasing so hard, over 10 watts per kilogram in between. Ericsson's still up there doing crazy stuff. But we have these other 2 riders now with a gap. And as long as this rider in front of me, Shad, German, Shad, is riding, I'm going to continue riding. I use this featherweight power because it's kind of worthless at this point. There's no more climbing between here and the finish. I'm just using it just to use it. I don't think it's benefiting me in any way. But I do have one more opportunity for a power-up, which you can see by that last green spot before the finish. Hoping, obviously, for the arrow boost, but I'll also take, like, a draft or something like that. Really, the featherweight's the one that you don't want in that situation. 2 riders off the front now together. I have to start pulling here and putting in an effort. And again, me in the bottom left. I am getting arrow in my garage. Cannot untrain 15 years of muscle memory. I'm putting my head down and everything. It's hilarious. Because I'm doing 450 watts, and I want to chase these 2 riders back. It looks like Shad is, he's behind me. I'm fine with that. As long as he's pulling, I'm pulling. And this is a chase, you know. This is an organized chase. Maitland, not so friendly. He's going to play the game of chicken. Hey, it's all fair, though. You're allowed to do that. That's totally fine. It looks like our effort here is working. Ericsson's still off the front, over 9 watts per kilogram. Who knows what's going on? But we have successfully brought these 2 riders back. And now we are inside of 5 kilometers to go. So that brings us into the final 3 kilometers. Heart rate's come down. Looking good for the field sprint. But Maitland attacking off the front means business at over 8 watts per kilogram. Now, I didn't know this at the time, you guys. But after peeping Maitland's Strava after this race, I realized he was doing the same thing as Ericsson. He was way up at, 700-800 watts and then back down to like 100 and then up and then down. Like, this is the most inefficient way to ride. Help me understand what's going on, you guys. I've been off Zwift for a couple of months. Is this a new thing? Have you guys experienced it? In any case, we've gone through our last power up and we didn't get the arrow boost. Which is ideal. That would have been perfect. But we also didn't get the featherweight, which is pretty much worthless at this point. We got the truck. So I'm not unhappy. This is going to help us in the sprint. But hey, I can't sprint unless I chase back these front riders. Maitland off the front, still doing 8.5 watts per kilogram. And it looks like we've almost brought him back. He's just dangling. Actually, we do bring him back for just a second. But then check it out. He's going to boost his power right on up again. There it is, to 8.8 watts per kilogram, 9 watts per kilogram. It's very, very strange behavior. There's something fishy going on. Unfortunately, that means we're not sprinting for first. We have 2 of these. I don't want to call them bots because I don't know for sure. Hey, look, you guys, actually, you know what? Let's do something funny. Ericsson and Maitland, if you guys are real, comment down below on this video. I'd be curious to see if anybody in real life rides this way because it's hard to believe. This is literally the most inefficient way to ride. The fastest way to get between here and the finish is to do a constant effort, a constant power on a flat piece of road especially. But yeah, anyway, there goes Maitland doing a ton of power off the front. Now back down to 1 watt per kilogram, but you get my point. I'm not worried about him anymore. I'm not worried about Ericsson, obviously, who's 43 seconds off the front. I'm worried about my effort in the field sprint, and in order to maximize the benefit of this drafting power-up, I need to drift back towards the back of this field, and I need to pop it earlier than you expect. The drafting power-up lasts twice as long as the arrow power-up, so I have to keep that in mind, and it's always good to be further back. I've talked about this before. Always good to be further back in the group in Zwift sprints than in real life, because you can just ride through people in Zwift. Obviously not worried about running into a rider in front of you in Zwift. This is all digital. You just ride through each other. So you can start your sprint from further back, from a little bit earlier than you think, and really benefit from that draft, especially if you have the boost like I do. So we're inside of 1 kilometer. I'm doing 140 watts because I'm trying to drift back. That's my whole plan here, is to drift back towards the back of this front group, which I think we're now down to like 7 riders or something like that. Yeah, here we go. Here's the back of it. It looks like maybe 8 or 9 riders. So this is a position I want to be in. We're 700 meters to go. I should probably pop the power up now, or very close to now. I think I ended up holding on to it for a little bit too long, but my position is ideal. Now, 600 meters to go is still way too long for a sprint. So I don't want to really open up my sprint 100% at this point, but I should start increasing that speed, and I want to build my momentum into the sprint. So you don't start with an all-out effort. It's different than in real life sprint. But I see somebody start using their power up. I see somebody start sprinting, so I get on it right away. I pop the boost, and off we go. I'm following this rider. This looks really good, but I'm just getting my wheels blown off by Sanjath, who's doing almost 16 watts per kilogram, 15 now sustained. And yeah, like, I'm making pretty good power here. It's never as good as outside power because it's hard to sprint on trainers, but I just got my doors blown off. I could have, obviously I'm still using my drafting power up there at the end. I could have timed that a little bit better, but I don't think there's any amount of timing my sprint or my power up that was going to help me catch Sanjath. I just got beat by him, but in any case, ended up 4th, sort of 2nd. I'm not sure about Ericsson and Maitland. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Get subscribed. We have some really cool national level crits coming up out at Tour of America's Dairyland. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.